I think this is going to be one of these weeks that I'm just going to have to make chicken salad out of chicken crap. Thank you, StreamYard. Thank you for totally fouling up my special Mother's Day edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph. Thank you so very, very much. Oh, don't don't fret. I have the camera off for a reason. Because being the fact that I'm starting part two, I don't want to just jump in to where I left off because candidly, I kind of forgot where I left off. And I'm not going to start with the intro music because technically, this is not really the intro. This is part two. And actually, I actually did part two, but I had to stop that recording because it came out even crappier than part one. And I actually put a song on there that I wouldn't have got a YouTube strike or a copyright strike. It's just the fact that I just changed my mind and didn't know how to edit it from the video. So I'm going to do this one instead. And when this song is over, I will continue my New York Knicks talk. One of the benefits, the only benefit of whatever happened in part one to make me have to split this up, the only benefit that I had was I actually got some breaking news, which actually I think will probably lead me into my Warriors talk, and I will end this episode and bookend these both of these episodes with New York Knicks talk. The Boston Celtics, as recently as 3 minutes ago, eliminated the Philadelphia 76ers in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. So it would be a repeat of the Eastern Conference finals from last year, in which the Miami Heat would face the Boston Celtics. But that's not the main story coming out of this elimination game. Two things. One, Boston put Philly out of their misery and beat them by 36 points in Game 7. 36 points in Game 7. So much for Mr. Embiid, Mr. MVP of 2022/23. "36 points in an elimination game." Actually, it's actually worse. And this should spread a little sunshine on the land of the sun, because the Phoenix Suns got smacked at home in Game 6 by 30 points, following up the elimination of last year, where they got smacked at home in Game 7 by the tune of 33 points. So at least the Sixers beat that record. And it was actually on the road at least. So kudos to the Sixers for at least taking the spotlight over such a debacle away from the Phoenix Suns. But what's most personal to this, and this, like I said, this is going to seamlessly go into Golden State Warrior talk. Steph Curry, 2 weeks ago, made history. Made NBA playoff history. Made NBA playoff Game 7 history by dropping a 50 ball in an elimination game against the Sacramento Kings on the road. You know that record has already been broken? That record has been broken by none other than Boston Celtics star Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum dropped 51 in the 36-point blowout of the Philadelphia 76ers in Game 7. He scored 25 of those points. He was ambidextrous. 25 of those points was in the first half. And it says right here, Yahoo Sports, his 51 points are the most in Game 7 history, passing a 50-point mark that Golden State Warriors guard Steph Curry set just 2 weeks ago. Ain't that a bitch? Just 2 weeks ago. Just 2 weeks ago. Let me just give you the stats of the Philadelphia 76ers for anybody who's interested. Your reigning NBA MVP, Joel Embiid, in a Game 7, played 38 minutes. He dropped 15 big points on 5 for 18 shooting with 8 rebounds. When you hear that stat line, the first thing you think of is MVP. But not to be outdone. James Harden quickly reminded the NBA landscape, the NBA world, who the hell he is. Look at this stat line. In Game 7, chance to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. In 40 minutes of action, James Harden dropped 9 points on 3 of 11 shooting. 1 for 5 from three-point land. 6 rebounds, 7 assists. So he had a triple single. Wasn't like he was in foul trouble. He only got 1 foul. Everybody was thinking that James Harden was going to have a resurgence. James Harden was having a resurgence. I'll say this before, like I said, before I get into, because quiet is kept. This is probably going to be the last time I talk about NBA action until October. Because as I said in the live this past Friday night, as of 1 a.m. Saturday morning, May 13th, 2023, my NBA season was effectively over. My NBA season was effectively over before Feliz Dias de las Madres. See how I bring it around full circle? It would be funny if it's only one team that got eliminated. Matter of fact, it wouldn't be funny. It wouldn't be funny at all because if one team got eliminated before Mother's Day, that's a debacle. I cheer for two. I told you a couple weeks ago, I'm bi-coastal. Two of my teams got eliminated before Mother's Day. And that second team, to the shock of most observers, most predictors, especially yours truly, the Golden State Warriors got eliminated this past Friday night by the Los Angeles Lakers in 6 games. They lost game 6 by about 21 points. It was disheartening, to say the least. Here's a tidbit. This is the earliest that the Golden State Warriors have been out of the playoffs since 2014. The year before they won their first championship with the core three: Steph, Clay, Dre. When I believe they got eliminated in the first round by the Los Angeles Clippers. Coincidentally, that was the last season coached by Mark Jackson. This is the first Western Conference playoff series that they've lost under Steve Kerr. I'm at a loss for words, which isn't great when I'm trying to do a podcast, right? But I'm truly at a loss for words. I'm just going to give y'all some stats, and then I'm going to get into my opinions, because at the end of the day, the stats mean nothing anymore because they're no longer playing. But I got a lot of things I need to get off my chest while I have them in my head, while they're fresh. In Game 6, only 2 Warriors scored in double digits. Steph Curry scored 32 in 38 minutes. And you know who the second leading scorer was? You'll never guess. Dante DiVincenzo with 16 points. Game 6, Clay, in 37 minutes of action, scored 8 points on 3 for 19 shooting. 3 for 19 shooting, which was a common occurrence for Mr. Game 6 Clay in this series in particular. Remember, in Game 7, where Steph Curry dropped the aforementioned 50 ball. Klay Thompson had 16 points on 4 for 19 shooting. These are John Starks numbers, brothers and sisters. People! Listen to these stats for the Lakers series when it comes to Klay Thompson. And I know there's one viewer / listener that's all in his glory seeing Mr. Klay Thompson finally get his comeuppance because this individual can't stand himself some Klay. He thinks Klay is the most arrogant, most egotistical, most I can't even come up with the words that this man has in his head about Klay Thompson. And that man is the Mojo King. I know he's cackling with a Philly. Klay, game 1, 25 points on 9 of 25 shooting. Game 2, he had the 30 spot in the blowout. 18. Game 3, 15 points on 5 of 14 shooting. But these last 3 games in the series were the 3 games that, if you look at the numbers offensively, they're concerning. In 41 minutes in game 4, he had 9 points, 3 for 11 shooting. In game 5, which was a win, 37 minutes, he had 10 points for 3 of 12 shooting. And like I said, in this past game 6, he had 8 points for 3 for 19. You know what's so appalling about that 3 for 19 to me? Is in game 5, when they were up, the Warriors had a 13-point lead in the second half, at least a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, which they allowed Lonnie effing Walker the fourth to dwindle down. He scored 15 points in the fourth quarter by himself. He eliminated us. Lonnie Walker eliminated us. But in that time, when all you need is a good possession, a good shot to help stem the tide. And yes, before anybody tells me, I know better than most. Klay has always been that dude Klay has always been that dude to shoot the ball, shoot that shot that everybody be like, what the fuck? Yeah! Go ahead. He's always had that audacity to shoot without a conscience. And for the majority of his career, they've gone in. But if you know that you don't have it going on, and you haven't had it going on up until that point, the 2 games prior, the 2.5 games prior, and you see that your man Steph is doing everything he can to try to will this team, this flawed team, to victory, to keep this series tied at 2-2, or make sure the series is tied at 2-2 with the pivotal game 5 at home. There was 2 shots in the last 3 minutes of that game, and I'm like, Klay, really? Really? It'd be one thing if you had it going on, but really? Klay Thompson, to me, and I'm probably one of the biggest Klay Thompson fans in New York. Yeah, how's that for a disclaimer? No, but Klay is that dude. Like, in my older age, I've really stopped getting jerseys because I'm like, look, I'm too old to be wearing a jersey. But I'll get a T-shirt with the number on it. I've always gotten the Clay shirt. Because to me, Clay's arrogance, I loved. I loved that moxie. I loved the fact that he could care less what y'all thought. But he had that innermost confidence of himself that he was going to will himself and will the team to a victory. His ego, to me, cost them numerous times in the series, and actually, to me, allowed the first series to go 7 games in a lot of ways. Because Klay Thompson had 2 years on the sidelines due to devastating injuries. Just the fact that he's come back to the stature that he's at right now is a testament to the hard work that he's put in, to the testament of the internal fortitude, intestinal fortitude that he has after those 2 years of catastrophic injuries. He had a torn ACL in the 2019 finals, game 6, when he was heating up. Then trying to return in 2020, he tore his Achilles. He ruptured his Achilles. So for 2 years, he was battling. Last year, he came in midway through, feeling his way, had some moments, but his moments were sporadic. But just on reputation, his reputation itself, Klay helped them to number 4. And in some ways, I think by them winning number 4 last year, actually caused a lot of things problems of this year. Because a lot of were covered up by ring number 4. A lot of the sloppiness, a lot of the arrogance was covered up by ring number 4. And do you know who was really responsible for ring number 4? The man that very seldom says anything. Yeah, he lets his playing do the talking. That's his little slick shit, but a lot of time because he's already put in the work. He's not putting out face of everybody else's bluster. And that's Steph. Numerous times in the quasi or where quasi, it's not really teams back and forth. The Warriors, here we go again. The Warriors and the Grizzlies aren't a rivalry, but in the games that in the battle before, Klay will always be like, number 4, y'all don't got no rings. You don't have the luxury to talk to me. You're not on my level. And don't get me wrong, I was eating it up. My that's right, Klay, talk your shit. But that arrogance came back to bite them when it was needed. Well, when maybe just extra grind and your talk sufficed. And that brings me to the next culprit. And that's Mr. Draymond Green. There's a coincidence that in the 2 games that the Warriors won against the Lakers this series, 2 games he won, well, when he wasn't in foul trouble, which is another thing altogether, because to me, Draymond being in foul trouble is lack of focus. Draymond being in foul trouble is him not being fully locked in, not being fully engaged. And yeah, there's always been scuttlebutt. There's been scuttlebutt since the beginning of the season that him and LeBron is way too close. I'm not going to go as far as saying that he threw the series because for his man. I wouldn't discredit him like that, because everybody knows he is a competitor. And I don't think he would do Steph like that. I don't think he would do Steph dirty like that. But most of the time when Draymond's getting little stupid foul, that's because he's not engaged. That's either because his emotions are on overload or he's just not feeling it. The two games that the Warriors won, coincidentally, are the two games in which he attempted 10 shots or more. Game 2, he almost had a triple-double, 11 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists, 5 for 10 from the field. Game 5, he scored 20 points, which I'm like, oh, sugar honey iced tea. He scored 20 points. 7 for 11 from the field, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. Coincidentally, like I said, those are the two games that the Warriors won. I don't understand. To me, look, I know he has his spot. He has his role. His role is the defensive leader. His role is to run the offense and get everybody into the plate. But you can't tell me, especially in game 5, no, game 4, there was a play which he grabbed. Matter of fact, he got the rebound off a Steph miss. And instead of trying to put the ball back up, his confidence is so much that, and plus the opposing team plays him as a non-threat. So much so that they put Dennis Schroeder on. Long gone are the days of when Draymond dropped 37 in the game 7 in the finals. Long gone are the days that Draymond was a threat from three-point land. Nowadays, as witnessed as a couple years ago in the play-in, he can't even complete the majority of his layups. That's a problem. They do not depend on Draymond Green to score. But the proof is in the pudding. The two games that he actually scored in double digits were 2 victories. The 2 games that he was actually a semblance of a threat, they won. One going away in most cases. And now, okay. Now I'm going to enter Jordan Poole into the conversation. For the majority of this year, because once again, I'm looking from the outside looking in. I'm looking from 3,000 miles away. Yeah, I know with the internet, you can get all the information you can. And yes, I actually have gotten more information than the normal fan would have gotten from 3,000 miles away, because there would be nights that I would stay up and watch the NBA, the NBC Bay Area sports feed to get information on my Golden State Warriors, besides listening to podcasts, reading articles, listening to Golden Space on YouTube, following Miss Nat, #1 Golden State fan, on Twitter. I won't call it the bare minimum, but I did my due diligence. But with that being said, I'm not in the everyday know. I'm not in the know for everyday things, in and out. And once during training camp, once during this I think it happened preseason, especially when the video came out. The video of Draymond knocking Jordan Poole out. To me, everything else that happened after that incident led me to believe that as much as my heart wanted them to repeat, my heart wanted them to get to the finals again, I shouldn't have been shocked that it ended early. And as for all these naysayers, all these non-believers talking about, yeah, the dynasty's over. Dynasty ain't over. For all these, yeah, LeBron is the dynasty killer. Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? LeBron is the dynasty killer? LeBron is 4 in the finals. How is he a dynasty killer? Unless you talk about the potential dynasties he should have had. Everybody was like, yeah, he was a one-man dynasty. He got to 9 straight finals. Yeah. He got to 9 straight finals. Or was it 8 straight finals? But his overall record, there was a reason why it was called the 3-6 Mafia. 3-6. Nick White, nut juggling ass. I'm going to give him full credit. This is the tweet. LeBron James ended the Pistons, did he? Ended the Celtics. I'll tell you the truth, I think Danny Ainge ended the Celtics, to be honest. Ended the big three at OKC. No. OKC's cheap-ass owner ended the big three by saying, you know what? We'll keep Ibaka and we're going to trade away James Harden. Well, yeah, we're going to allow James Harden to sign the trade to get out of here and get his own team. Ended the pre-KD Warriors, really? So that's you admitting that they were a dynasty or dynastic before they got KD. Hasn't the narrative been that the Warriors were eminently beatable and they were lucky to get that one championship before KD and KD made them unstoppable? Hasn't that been the narrative? But now you're literally in writing ended the pre-KD Warriors. I think that was just an excuse to get the Warriors on this list twice. And ended the post-KD Warriors. That's so eloquently said by Nat from Brother from Another. Y'all don't realize that there are gaps in a dynasty? A dynasty is overall dominance over a long period of time. The Warriors won 4 championships in 8 years. That's an average of every other year. They had won 3 out of 3. They had won championship 3 of the last 4 years prior to the pandemic and injuries and so forth. 4 championships in 8 years. Do y'all call the Miami Heat a dynasty? 2 championships in 4 years? Ask her. Everybody agrees that even though matter of fact, there was debate of whether or not San Antonio was considered, San Antonio Spurs were considered a dynasty. What was it? It was what, 4 and 9 years or 5 and 10 years, something like that. I mean, everybody know about the Bulls, 6 and 8 years. Go back to football. The Patriots technically had 2 dynasties. They had one from 2001 where they won 3 championships in '01, '03, and '04. And then after a break, they had another one in 2013. Was it 13, 15, 13, 16, and 18? 3 or 4 years, 3 and 5 years. Everybody considered them a dynasty. So 4 and 8 years, that's not a dynasty? The dynasty's over. So you mean to tell me if the Warriors win next year, that'll be 5 and 9 years. No, 5 and 10 years, because they're not winning this year. So what that listen. And he said that's 5 iterations of championship level teams over. So you're calling OKC a dynasty, even though they didn't win shit. It's a dynasty, even though they won one championship in the KGs. The KG, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce year, one championship. Pistons won one championship in the big shot Chauncey Billups years. All right, Nick. I digress. I actually gave him way too much time. Not when the video came out, Draymond Jordan, I under pressure. Man, Mom was wrong. Gonna mess him up. Gonna mess the young boy up mentally. He's not gonna be able to trust. Blah 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 blah. And for the majority of this year, you can see there's times that trust, that second nature wasn't there. You could tell. People said the reason why they struggled on the road is because they were a fractured unit. The trust wasn't there. The camaraderie wasn't there. You had the young boys, Kuminga, wanting a bigger role. Meanwhile, Anthony Lamb was getting minutes, meaningful minutes, at the expense of Kuminga. You had James Wiseman before he got shipped out of town, upset about his role or upset about the amount of blame that he was getting. Moses Moody, to his credit, said, you know what, look, if I went to play more, I would stay in college. This is all about this long game here. But Jordan Poole, last year in particular, earned himself a big-time contract. What was it? 4 years, $127 million, 30 plus a year. And everybody's, well, the word came out that Jordan Poole came into camp expecting or knowing he was getting that contract, and his head went. Pool party became an ocean party. And they said him and Draymond got into over it based on a lot of people was saying based on jealousy because Draymond was not going to get the extension before the season that he desperately wanted. And they were saying jealousy. Now I look back at it, especially how Poole played in these playoffs. I look back at him like, maybe there was a reason why Draymond did what he did, not giving him cover over, or not giving a thumbs up like, yeah, you should have did it. But this now it's almost apparent why this happened. There's a reason why the team did not discipline Draymond as much as, let's say, I even thought they should have. There's a reason why Steph Curry, Klay Thompson didn't really take Draymond to task for what could be conceived as something that would be detrimental to their efforts in repeating. Maybe Jordan Poole is just that arrogant. Maybe Jordan Poole was believing his own shit. Maybe Jordan Poole, and I'm not going to say isn't that good, just has a lot of growing up to do, a lot of maturing to do on championship. And once again, maybe having the ring in his mind meant you can't tell me a damn thing. I got this ring. I helped y'all get this ring. I'm one of y'all. You can't little bro me. Now there's a clip from Cameron and Mace. It is what it is podcast, in which Cam and Mace are clowning the hell out of Jordan Poole for allegedly spending $500,000 on Ice Spice. Caught him a munch. Mace, with the deadpan punchline, said he could have just gave us some pizza. He could have just bought a slice of pizza. He tricked $500,000 on Ice Spice. He could have went up to Fordham and saw if Cam was like, yo, he could have went up to Fordham, Tremont Ave, and saw some of the sites up there and be like, yo, I wasted $500,000 on that. And this out here. And that's when Mace was like, yeah, you could have got all that for a slice of pizza. I'm a Brooklyn dude. So if they say it's true about the Bronx, I guess you got to go there, right? But yeah. To me, that's just confirmation on why he got knocked the fuck out. Excuse my French. Because the money went to his head. What? Listen, that's not for me to judge because I'm a man. Like I said, I'm going to be 47 in a couple months. So I'm darn sure not looking at Ice Spice talking about, yeah, I smash, I pat. That's not my demographic. Only thing I know about her is she got the same flow in every damn show. And a munch. I got a bunch. And then with a bunch. Only thing I got. Look, make your money, honey. I ain't hating, but it's just not for me. Now I'm gonna go down the list. The postseason for Mr. Jordan Poole. Mr. Jordan Poole. Ridiculous. I'm going to give you the averages first. In 13 games this postseason, 21 minutes a game, he averaged 10.3 points per game on 34% from the field, 2.2 rebounds, 3.5 assists. Now, in this series, and I can see where it went downhill, and it's actually a pattern. Matter of fact, I'm going to go from the Sacramento game, some of the from Game 4 in Sacramento series on. 26 minutes, 22 points, 8 for 15 from the field. He followed that up with a 10-point effort, 4 for 12 from the field. He followed that up with a 7-point effort, 2 for 11 from the field. And in Game 7, a total no-show, 19 minutes, 8 points, 3 for 9 from the field. Yeah, that's the game that Steph damn near went all 48 and dropped 50. On how many times did he shoot? What they said, 34 times, 35 times? Steph never shoots like that. Steph said prior to Game 7 and told the team, and he was pointing people out, but told the team, listen, if y'all not going to Sacramento and about this win, if y'all not about the team, y'all can keep your ass here. Don't get on the bus. If everybody does the focus, we will win the game. I will do my part. And that's what Steph did. And in Game 7, he showed which guard Jordan Poole showed up with 8 points, 3 for 9 from the field. So they get past that. You figure, all right, new beginning. Game 1, 21 points, 7 for 15 from the field, 6 assists. But that's overlooking the fact that this mother effer decided to pull from 30, damn near 30 feet plus for a potential game-winning 3 when, if he would have set his feet, when, yes, a makeable shot. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna get into order rigmarole. Yes, it's a makeable shot. Yes, he does have that range. But do you really think that Jordan Poole should have been the one taking that shot? At that point in time, down 2. And he got a lot of backlash from it. And then from that point on, he went mentally in the toilet. He followed that up with a 6-point effort. Now, this was the blowout. Matter of fact, this was the blowout victory in game 2. He only played 15 minutes. 6 points, 3 for 6 from the field. Then they went to LA. 22 minutes, 5 points, 2 for 9 from the field. Game 4, he was utterly unplayable. 10 minutes. Donut. 0 for 4 in the field. Game 5 in the victory, he scored 11 points. Still not shooting great. And then game 6, ride or die. 7.3 for 10 from the field. And his whole body language, his whole demeanor was like, don't matter. I got bread. I got my bread. Doesn't really matter to me. Matter of fact, y'all want to trade me? Doesn't matter. I want my own team anyway. I don't want to effort y'all. That was his demeanor. That was his demeanor. The majority of the series after game 1 was, I mean, he's trying. I don't want to, like I said, I really don't want to dog the dude that much, because I'm not going to lie. If that would have happened to me, I'd probably be looking at a lot of people sideways and be like, look, y'all want me to go hard for y'all, and I got my jaw rocked, and y'all really didn't ride for me? No matter, all right, if I'm supposed to be little bro, you don't line little bro up. I see both sides. I would not be surprised if by the trading deadline, perhaps he is gone. Depending on how everything shakes out. But right now, he's similar to me. And right now, in his role on the team is similar to me of when D'Angelo Russell was a short-lived Golden State Warrior, meaning salary slot. Remember, D'Lo became Andrew Wiggins. Wouldn't have been able to get a player of that caliber without D'Lo's salary slot. And right now, to me, that's what Jordan Poole represents. He's not going to be tradable. Right now, his value's at his lowest, and his extension kicks in this summer, so you can't trade him anyway. It's going to be interesting. Right now, you only got a core 5. You got a core 5. You got Steph. You got Clay, but Clay's not going to get the bread he think he was going to get. You got Dre. Dre is going. He knows where his bread is buttered. You got Loon, and you got Wiggins. That's your 5. You're sprinkling Moody. Kuminga is already put out there that if he doesn't get a defined full-time role, he wants out of there. And I can't blame him. He's a young boy. Contract time is about to come up. He has to show and prove. He's not going to be able to get the bread that he wants just purely on potential with nothing to show on tape, really. So you got 7. That's pretty much it. And you got Patrick Baldwin, 8. So you got 8. Due to the collective bargaining agreement, the CBA, the new CBA, it's going to be hard to add on to this because they no longer get the taxpaying mid-level exception. Dante gone, but Dante has been rumored that Dante had a problem with his role. So you had Dante, Kuminga, and Poole. I don't know what's going on. People were saying, shoot, Bob Myers might be gone. The GM, his contract's up. And if he stays, I believe the core will stay intact. And they'll try to replenish. If he goes, anything's up. Anything's up for grab. They might insult Clay with an offer. And Clay be like, you know what? Draymond's already said, yeah, what you call me and Rich got a plan. Rich Paul, that is, Clutch Sports. This is not the death of a dynasty. Sometimes you got to take a step back, take steps. And that's all I see now. I see, remember, these players are getting older. No excuse, but the players are getting older. And maybe this would be best in the long run. Nobody likes losing, and nobody's saying losing is the best in the long run. But sometimes, like I said, you got to take a step back to take 2 steps forward. My Warriors will be back. Be back better than ever next year. So, like I said, my basketball season is done. I say done, D-O-N, it's done. So I'm letting y'all know right now, unless some big news come out, like big off the court news go out, don't expect me to be giving what's called Eastern Conference Finals recaps. I could care less about Boston and Miami. The only time you might hear me talk about the Western Conference Finals is if the Lakers get embarrassed, like I hope they do. And if whatever I plan in my mind for the NBA Finals, it's going to be like a couple years ago. Can we get these finals over with so we can get basketball season the fuck up out of here? Yeah. That is what it is. Now, my Knicks, to continue where I left off, Randle got to get out of here. Julius Randle has got to get out of here. I didn't realize he got 3 years left on this contract. You got to trade him for a bag of beans or something. Get him the hell up out of it. Because he saps the energy off the team. He refuses to use his post game. The worst thing that happened was him going into the 3-point contest because now he just thinks he's a 3-point guy, which he's not. Worst thing that could have ever happened. He doesn't play lockdown defense. He doesn't hustle. And right now, he's effectively blocking your number 8, your first round draft pick from a couple years ago from getting any meaningful playing time. And there's always this saying that, do you think the Knicks are a better team without Julius Randle? I would say they're a better team if we got somebody to replace Julius Randle. Just subtract him. Of course, because now we're shorthanded. Now we're missing 25 points a game. But if we get somebody to replace him, I don't know who that would be because no other team in their right mind is going to take that contract in 3 years for 3 years left. And as long as Tibbs, that's all right. As long as Tibbs is the coach, and as long as Julius Randle's on his team, Julius Randle is always going to be a detriment to us getting over that hump. Because how many times are we going to be able to get into the playoffs, get into prime position, and have to overcome the ineptness of Julius Randle? That's what Jalen Brunson, what Freudian slip? Jalen Brunson had to do. He had to overcome the ineptness of his cohort. I'll give RJ Barrett a pass. Even though he gotta tighten up that handle. He has to, because too many times he got stripped by bum ass Kyle Lowry. But I'll give him a pass because for the most part, that 1 for 10 showing in game 6 was unexcusable. But I get it. He's still young. He's still it's uh it's still a struggle for him at times. Quickly, if he thinks he's getting a big time extension after the second time in the playoffs stinking it up, first time he had the excuse he was a rookie. We need Quentin Grimes to step up and be a dependable shooting guard. Josh Hart is not it's a non-negotiable. We need him here. He completes us. We have a good nucleus. I just hope Leon Rose doesn't do what he did last time and not know when to cut bait on certain plays. Evan Fournier got to get out of here, but we need that slot. I wish there was somebody that would take that money so we could just get an even swap. But nobody's taking that bread. I don't want to buy him out, but nobody's taking that bread. Have Deuce McBride get some real meaningful minutes. Have him fully invested in the rotation. And I think, tell you the truth, I think McBride can make Quickly expendable because right now, like I said, I see Quickly as an 82 game player. I don't see him in the postseason. The moment is too big for him. Maybe he'll grow into it, but we still got a young nucleus. That's the good part. That's the good part. You know, it was a great season. It was a great season. We got to game 6 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. We haven't been that far in 10 years, literally, from when Melo brought us there. And we got eliminated by the Indiana Pacers, which still irks the hell out of me. And I think we can build from this. The East does not have that many monsters. A lot of people got traded from the East back to the West. We just need to not stand pat, but we need to improve prudently, smartly, intelligently. And then I think we should we'll be in some good position. Now, before I get out of here, there was breaking news today also in the NBA. And I wasn't going to talk about it, but being the fact, like I said, I'm really trying not to talk about NBA. I'm trying not to talk about basketball after tonight. In this special super duper 2-part episode, thanks to StreamYard. This morning, news came out that Ja Morant was at it again. Ja Morant was caught on Instagram live post with perhaps a firearm in his left hand. Not his right hand, not his shooting hand, not his shooting hand, not his dominant hand, not the injured wrist, which actually makes it even more worrisome that he had the firearm in his left hand. But what was really worrisome in that is like, my man, are you a flipping idiot? Are you a flipping idiot? This goes to show and prove, like I said, about a month or so ago, that quote unquote 8-game suspension that they had, which really literally was just a real 2-game suspension, that 5 days in counseling, 5 days in therapy was a bunch of BS. That was strictly PR. Let's hope that Ja doesn't lose more endorsements and get him back on the court as quickly as possible, which did nobody any good. Also, it proved my point. When people were getting chastised for taking his pops to task about not showing your boy the way, not letting your boy know, yo, certain things are non-negotiable. Certain things, if I'm not part of the entourage, but didn't I say that Ja probably looked at his pops, knowing he was the breadwinner, and probably told his pop, little nigga, you sit down now. I'm the man. Didn't I say that? In this video, and now they talk about, well, they're gonna dissect it to see if it wasn't, see if it was actually true. It wasn't photoshopped or something like that. No, he's dumb. You know why? You know why it wasn't? It wasn't. Damn, I don't know why I'm blanking on the word, but why this video was true. First of all, they talk about they don't know if this is a current video. It's on Instagram Live. It's a live. It's a Memorex. Number one. Number two. When the quick flash of you see Ja allegedly with the firearm in his hand. Now this is his man's Instagram. They in the whip, and it looked like his man saw what Ja was doing. Was like, oh, and turned it away quick. Because for a minute, all of a sudden you just see nothing but seat, window, background. Then they went back, and you see a flash, a clip of Ja, and then it ends. At least the clip we got. It's almost like his man was like, yo, my man, yo, didn't you just get? They already said on NBA Countdown, having a solemn voice, but this to me, what's more disturbing is that the fact that he did this again is the fact that it's self-inflicted. And being the fact it's self-inflicted within the last 2 months, these incidents happened 2 months apart from each other. That means that maybe Ja indeed does have a problem. Yeah, he has a problem. He's a flipping idiot. I'm sorry. I'm not giving him no grace. I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt. He's a flipping idiot. Him, his family, his peeps. Whole bunch of idiots. About to burn millions of dollars in flames for wanting to be hard. Everybody want to be a gangster. Everybody but me. Everybody want to be a rock star. Oh, how can it be? I can't remember what song that came from. It's a rap song, actually. I really forgot who and what. It just popped in my mind. But it rings true. It rings true. Matter of fact, because look, I'm probably going to need some content. I really am. Being the fact I ain't going to talk about basketball no more. So maybe, just maybe, this week, some more info will come out. And just maybe, matter of fact, probably I'll continue to talk about this next week. In which, after I come back from this commercial, I got to let y'all know what's on deck for next week. Something I haven't had in 10 episodes so far in the Social Thought to Make Steph. But all that can be talked about after the Mojo King and the Mojo Queen plug the Hidden Gem Czars, 3 entities And oh, by the way, give me a shout out.
All, I am the Mojo King, and I am here to support my brother's podcast and all of his salty thoughts. Alright, let's not say all of his salty thoughts, maybe 90%. He's a bit of a wild man. I am also here to plug my 3 podcasts. Yes, 3 of them. Hidden Gems Golf is a quick 10 to 12 minute pod where I talk long shots on the PGA Tour. Long shots mean big money when they pay off. There is also Hip Hop Hidden Gems, where historian William Freeman and I discuss songs and or artists who deserve more shine. We talked about Big Daddy Kane, Gangstar, Chino XL. We have a West Coast legend coming up. We even featured a little R&B and soul for Valentine's Day. It's a little bit nostalgia and a whole lot of fun. That's Hip Hop Hidden Gems. Lastly, but not leastly, is Hidden Gems Football. That is where me and the great Donnie Yu discuss upcoming NFL action. You already know how Donnie gets down with his spicy takes.
What are you doing? There's no more Donnie Yu.
I'm doing an ad for the salty thoughts of Donnie Yu.
No, not Donnie Yu. The salty thoughts of Mike Steph.
What are you talking about? Who the is Mike Steph? And by the way, Hidden Gems Football is the Mojo King and
Mike Steph.
What? What are you? Nah, I'm out. Screw this.
Hello? And back to you, Mike Steph.
This is bullshit.
I swear that never gets old. That never gets old. But good thing. I just got reminded. Matter of fact, not reminded, but I can actually say this in video form, even though I said it in text form. And not too long before I start this podcast, I wish a very, very happy Mother's Day to the Mojo Queen. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I hope you enjoyed your day. The Mojo King better make sure you enjoyed your day. I know that much. Yeah. Shoot. Mojo King better make sure the Mojo Queen and the Mojo Prince both enjoyed their days. I mean, shoot, if they didn't, what I'm going to do? Shoot, I can't control that man's household. While I'm on the subject of wishing people happy Mother's Day, this is how I'm going to do my plugs. I would love to wish one half. Matter of fact, no, I'm going to do it like this. My 2 brothers from Gimmick Infringement, Winchester and McDowell. Check them out each and every Monday on the YouTube page of the 19 Media Group for their Gimmick Infringement podcast, which also can be heard on audio form. But no, we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about Mother's Day. So allow me, Mike Steph, to wish a happy Mother's Day to Mrs. Winchester. And also, I would love to wish a happy Mother's Day to Mr. McDowell's mom. Happy Mother's Day for Mike Steph. I would love to wish a happy Mother's Day to my wife, the formerly known as Mrs. Ooh, now Mrs. Steph. Like I said, hopefully she's having a great time. And that's kind of why I'm doing this. While the sun is up in the sunshine. You see, very seldom. I actually haven't recorded this podcast during the daytime. Shoot, since the very beginning. So that's why I had to make sure you saw this little struggle plant in the window, because to make sure that you can get the gist of the fact that I'm actually doing this early. But yeah, also because the missus is out with my lovely in-laws, and they're having a great Mother's Day. And being the fact it's Mother's Day, I fell back. I made sure Mrs. Ooh was taken care of. And also I'm that I won't say confident, but look, Mrs. Ooh don't need me right behind her. Mrs. Ooh could do her thing. So yeah. That's how we're going to do that. Next week, I'm going to have a special episode. I'm not going to actually tell y'all who is going to be on El Pod. Y'all, I'm bugging. But I will say that I will not be alone next week. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be very, 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 very interesting because I have no idea what to expect from my guest because my guest actually asked me to come on the pod. And he spoke to me yesterday and he was like, yo, me and you got beef, but we could talk about it next Sunday. I'm like, yo, what'd I do? He's like, yeah, Mr. Sportcaster. I'm like, word? Like, darn, such animosity. Like you just gonna bogart your way into outro. You just gonna bogart your way into the pod. He's like, yeah, we can talk about it next week on your pod. So I guess it's gonna be next week on our pod. I mean my pod for the show. But yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Like I said, I have no idea if we're gonna talk about sports. We're gonna talk about entertainment. It's probably gonna be a free fall. But this is something that like I said, I've been wanting since the prior iteration. It's just to actually have guests on the pod. It just I like really bouncing back and forth off of other people. You know, so like I said, this is gonna be funny. And he considers himself a comedian of sorts. Ha ha ha. You know, but I'll make sure I have a whole crate of tomatoes ready to throw at the screen. Yeah, so that's what's on deck next week because might not be no basketball talk. The Mets are currently about to split a doubleheader and hopefully salvage 2 games out of this 3-game set in Washington. And they're still continuing to be the worst team that money can buy, part due. No rules on the Jets because Jets ain't playing. I think minicamp starts maybe in a couple weeks, so we'll get some more traction when that comes up. And yeah, so it's going to be around that time of year that everything is going to be on the table. You know, maybe more episodes like last week, talking about certain things that happen in the society. Oh yeah, Mr. Daniel Penny was finally charged with 2nd-degree manslaughter. But he's out on bail. Yeah, just like that. I think the damage has been done already. But yeah, maybe we could talk more about that. And by all means, feel free to hit me up in the comments section and let me know what y'all think about anything. Like I told y'all before, and I'll tell y'all again. You could just hit me up and say, yo, Mike, good looking. Yo, Mike, what up? Yo, Mike, you suck. Yo, Mike, let's talk about this. Yo, Mike, how about that? You could just do it. It takes nothing. It costs nothing. It costs nothing but maybe some finger movement. And if you are like me, you do some finger movement anyway. So do some finger movement on the keyboard or on the screen. Oh, I'd like to wish a happy Mother's Day to my sister Steph. I'd like to wish a happy Mother's Day to my other sister Steph. I'd like to wish a happy Mother's Day to my other sister Joy. I'd like to wish a happy Mother's Day to Mrs. T. If she's listening or watching, she knows. And I'm gonna work on that shirt. I'm gonna work on the shirt. I'm really gonna work on the shirt. Cause that tickled me. I was like, word? Really? Okay. Shoot, I should franchise that. But yeah, I'd like to wish happy Mother's Day to everybody. And before I get out of here, Salty Thoughts and Mike Steph podcast is available on the following platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and the formerly named Anchor.fm. New episodes drop on Mondays. Every Monday to be exact. Don't follow me on Twitter at Mike Steph's _. You can probably follow me on Instagram at Mike _Steph on Instagram. And don't even pay attention to me on TikTok at Mike Steph _. Yeah. Those are plugs for that. Hidden Gems Football hopefully will be coming soon because mini camps are coming up, and it's hosted by the Mojo King and myself. New episodes will drop. I don't know. Maybe every Thursday. But whenever we do drop, check us out on the 19 Media Group YouTube page. This episode was crazy. 2 parts. The second part, I have no idea how it started. I have no idea how it ended up because I saw that little spot. I saw that little sign, the Wi-Fi sign, even though I'm hardwired, and that means it probably starts with Mr. Roboto. But I wasn't splitting this up in three spots. So, like I said, if there is a problem, check out the audio version. The audio version should be pristine, nice and clear. Sure, I need some numbers on my audio version because I done cannibalized my own shit. But that's what happens when you start to progress, when you start to grow. There's one last thing, and I know I'm just dragging this shit out way too long. And I really should have did it in the beginning of both. Matter of fact, nah, I ain't doing it. So please check me out next week. Please like, subscribe, share, press the like button, press the notification button. So anytime I decide to drop, especially if I decide to drop live, you will be the first ones to hit it. Until next week. Goodbye. I swear this always happens. Oh, fuck it.